you take this woman as your lawful wedded wife?
Ooh, yeah!
Oh,
Place the ring on her finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
Hello, and welcome to With This Ring, episode 48. I'm your co-host, Ryan Everett.
I'm your co-host, Cindy Everett.
And today we will be continuing our journey through 1998 WWF. And where we last left was, of course, SummerSlam.
Yes.
The Highway to Hell had concluded with Steve Austin victorious. And then, unfortunately for the WWF, this time of year, when they're coming off this pay-per-view, they're hotter than they've ever been. They have 2 weeks without Raw.
Why?
The U.S. Open.
Oh, that's
is on USA, and
yes.
it was always a big thing.
Tennis players.
Yeah.
Taking away the momentum.
So they do have 2 Raws, but they're on Saturday nights. And it's kind of filler. Like the one episode, it's just Vince McMahon talks down to Undertaker and Kane, and they come out and interrupt every match with choke slams.
Oh, jeez. Every single match?
Yes, including one to The Rock, which The Rock did not like that.
In kayfabe or in real life?
No, in kayfabe.
Okay,
I mean,
I was going to say.
It was starting to, like, he actually came to the defense of D'Lo Brown.
Gotcha.
Got choke slammed for his troubles, and D'Lo didn't. D'Lo got out while he could.
Is D'Lo's chest protector still on?
Yes, of course. He's got to protect himself from those strained pectorals.
Wow, that's such a serious injury.
It was.
Yeah. And you said a little stuff you just made.
Yes.
Let people know the allergies are kicking in.
Are hard, yeah.
They're raging. I say, yeah, because we watched one of the first ride.
Yeah, so the first Raw that was back live was this September 14th. Yeah, because the Saturday Raws were pre-taped, and
got it.
They kind of were pushing Heat as the main show for the 2-week period.
Gotcha. Okay, so they kind of have their own little like mini.
Yeah,
so it's like season 3, episode 1 of Seinfeld with little like LA story arc.
Yes,
kind of
it's a little thing, capsule. And then yeah, when they get
to the larger arc.
I mean, it does end up being that it ended with Vince McMahon announcing it would be Steve Austin versus Undertaker versus Kane at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
To try and get the title off of, and this is kind of like at going into SummerSlam, Undertaker was kind of like the tweener, like face, but with a heel.
Yeah.
But at the pay-per-view and stuff, he wanted to wrestle Steve Austin man-to-man at least, so he still had that. But then at this point now, he's just working for Vince McMahon, so he's a full asshole.
Boo. Yeah, I mean, Vince McMahon really this year has been probably the character that's been felt the most.
Oh yeah, it's probably the best one-year heel run of anyone, and for a guy who doesn't wrestle.
Right, that's true.
I mean,
that's true.
Outside of the one match on Raw that ended up getting thrown out against because of Dude Love, but
right. I was thinking Dude Love with the soda, but we'll get to that. Yeah. So I think what I write, Undertaker and Kane are Vince McMahon's bodyguards, and lots of sledgehammers.
Yes, that's their.
That's their
before it becomes Triple H's weapon of choice, it's Undertaker and Kane.
Got it. When did Triple H take it up?
Like May of '99.
Got it.
Kind of gets into it.
Got it.
I guess Undertaker or Kane left there just laying around and they like the looks of it.
Yep. So
yeah.
What's the point of watching that? I guess
just to like
give me some kind. You got to do your like 90 seconds.
Just to like this was just like to kind of it basically summed up the first 2 weeks after SummerSlam, which is Vince McMahon is upset with Undertaker and Kane. They should have won the title at SummerSlam, so now he's making them do it together.
Gotcha. And then I had the heat right before was Stone Cold versus Mark Henry.
Right. Yeah.
Steel cage.
So
that was just funny.
Yeah. So they were gonna have. They announced that they were gonna have a cage match between Shamrock, Mankind, and The Rock on the pay-per-view. So Vince McMahon said he wanted to test the cage.
Right.
And have Mark Henry against Steve Austin. But then China beats up Mark Henry backstage. And Vince McMahon is locked in the cage with a cameraman who it's revealed is Steve Austin. And he beats up Vince for a little bit.
Yes. That was
before Undertaker and Kane can get in the ring.
A lot of costume changes this year too with the Kane and Undertaker. Austin, people popping up out of the rings. They
Yep.
really were on top of their game this year.
They had a lot going on. Yep.
Yeah, and it usually got a good reaction.
Yes.
It was not so. It wasn't like Dean Ambrose dressing up like Colonel Sanders. Oh, that was basically Spawn.
Yeah.
Sponsored content, but yeah, they had a good run.
So yeah, that was a good. I thought it set up the pay-per-view well. That it's Steve Austin just trying to somehow survive against Vince McMahon.
Yeah, you were a little low energy tonight.
Yep. Well, it's all right. We'll get through it.
I know it was a long weekend, and this was not the greatest pay-per-view.
No, it was not.
No.
So yeah, I mean, for one thing, it's just weird to be in Hamilton, Ontario.
How'd they end up there?
I don't know. It's just where they were. And then the next night they're in Detroit. You would think if you're gonna have a pay-per-view, you might have it in
That's true.
Detroit over Hamilton, Ontario. I mean, they got 17,000, so I guess it's a big.
Yeah,
it's a big,
really
pretty big
time
crowd.
for at SummerSlam. That 17,000 seems a little low. But...
Well, I mean, the next month is Chicago, and it's 18,000.
Is that Rosemont?
Yeah, so I mean,
okay.
That's pretty.
Did you go to that?
No.
We'll get to it. Oh.
No, I did not.
Ooh. We'll save that for next month.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll save that for next month. No, tell me about your reaction the first time you watched the September breakdown.
Well, the whole show, or just
the whole show, or it's in that to the end.
So I'll say that for the end, yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't see this. This was one of the scramble pay-per-views I watched.
Gotcha.
I don't know really the first time I would have seen it.
Okay. So yeah, the first one was good. Well, this is when Edge starts to come on.
Yeah, so Edge is having his first pay-per-view singles match.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in the mixed tag, but this is one-on-one.
It was Jacqueline and Edge, right, for the mixed tag?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good first real match. I mean, Owen Hart, he's always kind of like mid-card.
Yeah, especially, from this point on, especially. He doesn't really rise too much higher.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a good kind of put him in the starting spot. So
yeah.
It's a good match.
And he gets they have a good match out of each other,
right.
Owen Hart's mid, but, he's going to have at least a high floor match. It's not going to be horrible.
You're right.
So
your baseline.
Yeah, and he's able to carry
decent.
Edge, who's still a newcomer, to a pretty decent.
Yeah, so
match.
I said, solid match. And then, I didn't have a lot of notes for last match.
Oh, and at the end of we should note at the end of the Edge match, he gets distracted by Christian, who comes out of the crowd.
Oh yeah.
And he's dressed like Edge or Gangrel.
Oh, okay.
He's part of that whole group.
Like the vampire group?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yep. Yeah, the next two matches are pretty uneventful.
They're all kind of,
yeah, there's a lot of
bad ones. Next was
filler.
Too Much versus Al Snow and Scorpio.
Yeah.
I said quick filler match. Al Snow and Scorpio win.
Yeah, and surprisingly, for a time when they were referencing stuff, JR and King don't reference that it was Al Snow versus Too Much at King of the Ring. So I think that's one of those times where they're just admitting it was a very stupid idea. We're not going to do it again.
Right.
Let's never talk of it.
Yes, exactly. And then next was Mark Marrow versus Droz.
Yeah.
Who's Droz again?
He was LOD's buddy.
That's right.
Who came in and he was going to puke also.
That's right, puke.
But yeah, it's
I will just
very filler. And
I said, fine, nice backflip, I guess. Oh yeah, he did kind of do. Hold on that.
Oh yeah, he did the shooting star press.
Yes.
Full body through. Yeah, which was impressive.
Good.
But yeah, that's about it for this match.
Right.
It was very blah.
Yeah, I mean, what was the deal with this pay-per-view? Why did they get better matches?
I think they knew what they wanted to do for the two big matches, and then everything else they didn't really have enough time to build because they only had the two actual Raws. But the first three matches had no build whatsoever.
Right.
There was no feud coming into it. Owen Hart didn't, attack Edge on Raw the week before. It was just, here's a match that's happening. So that's kind of...
And before I started watching wrestling with you, I thought that's how they always were.
No, you got to have backstory and
opera.
And none of these guys are hot enough on their own.
That's
just to,
true.
if they don't have a story going on, they're not gonna generate too much.
Right. So next one also
Yeah.
kind of blah.
And this one I kind of Bradshaw and Vader, no falls count anywhere. It sounds like it could at least, just be two guys throwing big bombs at each other. But
and they're giants.
They're giants, but
I said both very slow.
I mean, I think they use a chair, maybe. Like, they don't really take advantage of the falls count. I mean,
it's 1998. They could be everywhere.
Yeah, they brought a little bit on the outside, but not even like in the crowd or anything. So I would say this one was very disappointing to me.
Short and boring.
Yeah, I was upset with this one because draws in Mark Miro I don't expect much out of, but this I thought, hey, Vader
has potential. I guess he's kind of past his
prime, and this is JBL Bradshaw is still on the rise. He does get there eventually. Does he get
better? 'Cause he's not great.
He does.
Okay.
He does. It might take us a while to get there, but
fair enough. But yeah, I guess Vader's just kind of collecting a paycheck at this.
Yeah,
point.
I think
checked out.
His last he ended like his contract was up at like the end of October, and it was pretty clear.
Yeah. All right. Now then we get into some decent matches. D'Lo Brown versus
your guy D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, I like D'Lo Brown. I forgot. Was he wearing his chest press?
Yes, he's still wearing it because it's still in.
That's part of his.
You don't want it to get aggravated.
And I said this vampire guy is kind of strange.
Yeah, Gangrel is a different dude.
Vampires? I guess vampires are always kind of big.
I think it was kind of a
specific moment in 1998 when
I don't think so, but I think they were like Gangrel was like the name was like licensed from a comic book. It was kind of popular, I guess.
Oh, was it on my radar?
No, I didn't know of it either. But like all the shows at the end of this time period, they'll always say Gangrel credit White Wolf Entertainment or whatever it was.
Okay. Because True Blood wasn't until...
Yeah, that's more early
aughts, and Twilight was early aughts.
Yeah, I think this was like...
Just general vampire.
Just general vampire, Interview with the Vampire was 93, I think, 94, so that's still kind of in the zeitgeist, maybe.
Yeah, forgot about that one.
I think, it was, goth culture in general was kind of that, Hot Topic would have that,
the skater,
type of...
goth, more of those types of...
Yeah, so, and they never call it blood, they call it the viscous red liquid that he spews into the crowd.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, but I like this match. It's pretty decent. Kind of surprising ending.
Yeah, next Mark Henry comes out and gives Gangrel. I said Gangrel's moves are kind of spazzy.
Yeah,
he's kind of flailing a little bit.
Odd worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he just kind of ends up in the mid card too.
You know who his wife is?
Gangrel?
Yeah.
Vampirina?
No.
Give me a hint.
She's a female that was at WrestleMania.
Jacqueline?
No.
Sable?
No.
Oh, Luna?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
And he actually appeared on TV 5 years earlier when they got married on Halloween.
Nice.
And they showed video of Luna getting married.
Okay.
It was
they really get married on Halloween?
I believe so.
That tracks. Got it. But Mark. Why did Mark Henry have to get involved?
Well, him and D'Lo were still nation buddies,
right? But
and he was supposed to face Triple H, but that got canceled because Triple H got injured. So
okay. He still did something.
He was busy, wanted to keep himself busy.
Gotcha. He was available.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Help his buddy D'Lo. Because the rest of the nation is kind of falling apart.
Oh really?
Yeah, because Owen Hart's being weird.
Yeah.
And The Rock now is popular and doesn't want to deal with him anymore.
And who was the?
And the Godfather.
Yeah.
He's been out for an injury, so when he comes back, they kind of just give it a fresh.
Got it.
Fresh coat of paint, as we'll see coming up.
Okay.
And then next, thankfully, we have some guys that the crowd cares about.
Excited about, yeah.
Yeah, took a while, but we get there.
Yeah, they could have played at this a little earlier in the card. Maybe between the Too Much and the Mark Mero or the Bradshaw.
But I think then they would worry, they could have done that. They could have rearranged it a little, probably put it a little earlier.
Right, because then they could have gotten a bathroom break between the matches.
Right.
Just sitting through a lot of bad wrestling. The next was Mankind, The Rock, and Ken Shamrock in the cage, open air cage.
Yes, blue bar cage.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's blue with bars.
Well,
I mean, really, that's it. It's not the most inventive name. I mean,
just call it the open air cage because there's not a lid on it.
That's how all cages.
Sometimes they have lids.
Yeah, that's Hell in a Cell. That's a special thing.
Oh, that's the difference.
Yeah, steel cage.
Matches.
Well, there's steel cage matches, and usually, if you say a steel cage, you just assume it's the fence cyclone. Okay. But if it's classic WWF, you could have the blue bar.
Okay. Fancy name.
Yes.
Fancy term, the blue bar. All right.
They needed it for when Hulk Hogan was wrestling the fat heels in the cage. They needed it so that the fat heel could also try to climb the cage.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I learned something new today. Yeah. I always said there's a couple things I mentioned during this match. Like, oh, we should talk about that. First, I feel like it was okay, but like it's always odd with 3 people how to time it.
Yeah,
you know, like
especially in a cage.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't like roll around on the outside for too much. It's like, when are you gonna double up on one person? When are you just gonna kind of like roll around at the corner? Well, the others 2 fight. But then I said, because then the Rock wins by pinning Shamrock. But I said I've always thought this. I probably brought it up when we did the Rock, but the people's elbow is such a dumb finisher.
Oh yeah. Well.
Tell me, let's talk about that.
Like, here it's not even trying to be a finisher. He's just doing it for the big pop. Yeah, the double elbow. But yeah, so there's different times. Like, I think if he does it, if he hits a rock bottom, follows it with a people's elbow, that's okay. But like,
it's on its own.
There's times where he'd hit like the spine buster and then a people's elbow, and I don't care for that.
Why not?
Because it shouldn't be enough. Like
that. Yeah, that's true. You're right, because it's more about the showmanship.
Right.
Not necessarily like a hard-hitting move.
Like in the video game, it would be the rock bottom would be the finisher, and the people's elbow is just the signature.
Gotcha.
Move.
Gotcha. Gotta have both.
Yes.
Different purposes. Okay. But yeah, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I like this one a lot. It has the.
Well, yeah, come on.
It has check, it's got a great Mankind attempted dive.
That's
where
true.
He tries to again pay homage to Jimmy Snuka.
Right. Yeah, it goes off the top of the cage.
And of course misses.
Yes.
It wouldn't be that if he didn't. And then he does actually hit the double arm DDT on Shamrock and start to climb the cage. Apparently he didn't hear that this is also pinfall. And he's like,
right, he's like
just about to climb out as The Rock pins him.
Yeah. So yeah, Ken Shamrock doesn't really get too much of a moment.
No, he gets blasted with a chair.
Yes.
And then kind of that sets him off for the next amount of time.
Right. So yeah, no, that's a good one. The card definitely gets better.
Yes. And then we have...
kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Because we have Dustin Runnels versus Val Venis. And we see the build-up to this match was Val Venis had a new movie called The Preacher's Wife.
Right.
Starring Terri Runnels.
Yes, who he was actually getting a divorce from at the time, so... There you go. Art imitating life.
You gotta.
Did she really star in a movie with Val Venis?
I don't believe so, but she has had proclivities.
Stranger things have happened. I mean,
yes.
Whatever. I find that more believable than the Mr. Yamaguchi. What was that?
Yes, Mr. Yamaguchi-san.
Right. So, I said Val Venis is getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
I still think he has a weird gimmick. It's like kind of odd why they thought. Well, I guess the rating. I don't know. Did they have to submit their stuff to standards or FCC or?
I mean, they were TV 14.
Okay.
So
right.
It was risque, but it wasn't like.
I mean, some of it.
Yeah.
Like that weird outfit she was wearing. Revealing.
Yeah, that was quite the revealing outfit. But that's pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
So
keep that behind the paywall.
Yeah.
I just come across that on
USA.
USA.
You can't be wearing that on USA.
Gotcha. All right, that makes more sense. I'm guessing he probably toned it down a little bit when he was on Raw.
Kind of. I mean, some of the stuff he did have his penis almost chopped off on Raw. So
oh, that's true.
That did happen.
Fair enough. All right, and then some fan had an air horn.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying.
Yeah, that's not great.
And this is the same match as someone else with the laser pointer, which
yeah.
Well, then it says 1998
of course, yeah.
with a red laser pointer.
Yep,
But
and Venis kind of wins. It's kind of weird. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's the ending. He kind of just destroys his Dustin Runnels, and that's what we get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. The next one, I will admit, I took 0 notes on. I think it was like just after a long day of work, and I was just like staring blankly at.
So it's Jeff Jarrett and Southern Justice, who used to be the Godwin hog farmers. Now they're Southern bodyguards.
Right. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, versus
X-Pac.
The Outlaws and X-Pac from DX. A 6-man tag, and yeah, it's fine. It's just there though. It's
right. Once again, there's no build up. It's kind of
right. I mean, they kind of at least had a feud going, but it wasn't like well thought out. It was just kind of
gotcha.
They had begun fighting.
Started fighting.
I mean, because it's 6 guys, so they could have different singles matches out of them.
Right. But once again, I guess that's a little easier to manage than like the 3-way matches, but still, sometimes it's like gotta coordinate a little bit.
And speaking of the 3-way matches,
yeah,
you get one for the main event here.
Right.
As it's Steve Austin defending the title against both the Undertaker and Kane.
Yeah.
And the rules stated though that Steve Austin or that Undertaker or Kane could not win by pitting each other.
Right, they have to pit
Steve Austin, which really doesn't make sense for Vince McMahon's plan. If his plan is to have Steve Austin lose the belt, if Undertaker pinned Kane, he'd still be the new champ.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right.
That's a misstep in the master plan.
Spiteful.
Yeah, you also want Steve Austin be pinned.
Exactly. That's why.
I suppose, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the Undertaker had different music at this one, right? Am I just making that up?
Yeah, he started having the more
like
rock theme.
Nah.
No? Not for you?
I mean...
Not your favorite Graveyard Symphony?
No, he already has like the classic dead person like music. Don't mess with success.
It had been getting a little like more music
flashy.
Into it. Yeah.
All right. Well, whatever. And then
this is a long match, I will say. I think they could have cut it down a bit and gotten the same beats across.
Right. So Kane comes out, then the Undertaker comes out, and then as he's walking down, actually as this is happening, I'm like, they're really gonna have these big entrances for all 3 of them. And then Steve Austin runs out with
a chair to break that up.
Yep. So he starts early. I mean, of course, it was a lot of the 2 of them ganging up on Steve Austin.
I mean, I think they tried to. Austin does have like that energy at the beginning of the match, trying to get it over as quickly as possible, but eventually the 2 of them are able to gather themselves and work him over.
Yep. But then, so Austin gets pinned by both, but then Vince McMahon like literally just runs away.
Yes, runs out with the belt.
Which is annoying. I just remember like finishing this, like this is the ending.
Yeah, well, it was not great. At this time though, it was very much like sometimes like SummerSlam has a definitive ending, but some other times it was this is happening, so you better turn it to Raw tomorrow night to see what happens next.
All right, that's true. They kind of have a hook to get everybody to keep watching.
Yeah.
No more tennis.
So we did keep watching though, as we watched clips from the next night. Where
the next night in Detroit.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's whatever. We already talked about those.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, you know what? They probably did Toronto at Saturday night before.
Yeah.
So then,
kind of keep.
I guess I don't know how far any of those weird towns are from each other.
Toronto. Yeah, I don't know either.
I think Toronto and Detroit's like 40 minutes.
Oh, really? Is that close?
I think so. I think there's a tunnel.
Yeah, well, that's like where Windsor.
Right, but I think if past
Windsor. We both have smartphones.
Look from the Joe Louis Arena to
the specific arena.
Yeah.
Is Joe Louis Arena still around?
Not anymore.
So will it come up by putting?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll show up.
Well, this proof my phone listens to me, so I put in Joe, and there's Louis, like a golf course.
Golf course.
I know it's a golf course.
Yeah. I mean, her boxing champ in the early 1900s.
Is there a monument to Joe Louis in Detroit? Can we do from there?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, wait.
I'm sure that's pretty close.
Whatever. All right, and then to what?
To let's go Skydome. Or Rogers Center, I guess that was its technical name.
Yeah. Rogers Center?
Yeah.
Oh, you were way off, dude. It is 3 hours and 39 minutes from Detroit to Toronto. It goes in kilometers because I think it's in Canada.
Okay, a little off.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, clearly we don't know anything about Canadian geography. I thought, honestly, I thought it was closer, too. I know it was way up, like, north of Niagara Falls, essentially. All right. Hamilton is slightly closer.
Oh, they were actually in Barrie, Ontario the night before.
Okay.
So, not Toronto.
Oh, really? They're
Yeah.
up there? There's Barrie up there.
Yeah. And then all the way down to Hamilton.
And then all the way over to... Okay. All right, this is not interesting.
Yeah.
Basically, this podcast is reflective of the
quality of the
matches,
I would
right?
definitely agree with that.
Not great.
But we're in Detroit.
Right,
for Raw.
yes.
It might be 45 minutes. It might be 3 hours. Who knows?
Ask us.
But Vince McMahon comes out and declares that he is retiring the Steve Austin belt. He's put it at
the smoking
skull belt.
Yes.
He has it put around his waist, and he walks out with the belt and promises a new champion at the end of the night. And then the middle of the show, Vince McMahon comes out with the belt and the podium
Oh, yeah.
on display.
Yes. Kind of setting up his big razzle dazzle.
Yep.
And
then invites Undertaker and Kane out to the ring. And then all of a sudden they go to the back, and Steve Austin is coming on a Zamboni.
Obviously.
And the Detroit cops just move aside because what are you going to do? Get run over by a Zamboni?
Is this the first time, like the first of as many ridiculous... Was this before the milk truck?
Yeah, this was way before the beer truck. Yeah, this was the first.
Beer truck, milk truck.
This was his first big... I mean, he had the match with The Rock where he drove the car out to the ring.
That's true.
But that's
well,
about...
it's a car, not a truck.
The truck, yeah. Truck.
Was it a truck?
The pickup truck, yeah.
Yeah.
So that
what's the most ridiculous thing he's ever ridden out to the ring?
Probably is a Zamboni.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So he drives it out, and on this version it's better, but on Raw Live, like, he really did run over like an audio wire, and I guess they said later, like, he basically unplugged the audio for a little bit, and then almost ran over the power cord, which would have knocked the show off the air.
Nice. Yeah, things that really tested that.
Yeah, I mean, they probably didn't figure this tape has to be taped down. These cords have to be taped down because of the Zamboni that's going to be running over here.
Right. Well, you should tape down cords anyways.
Right. But maybe you did double tape it.
Whatever. Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, he runs out of the Zamboni, crashes it into the ring. The ring moves.
The crowd goes nuts.
The crowd is losing their minds. He jumps off the Zamboni onto Vince McMahon. Someone throws a Steve Austin punching bell into the ring.
Were they waiting for Steve Austin to show up?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew he was going to be there.
Right. That's true.
So it's pure mayhem. The cops are arresting Austin. The Undertaker and Kane are just sort of standing there.
Yeah, didn't the Undertaker and Kane turn on Vince McMahon?
Well, yeah, because they get Steve Austin goes to jail.
You're gonna prison.
I'm through with you, Vince. I'm through with you. And yeah, it's just mayhem. And then Vince McMahon comes back out and yells at Undertaker and Kane because this was the third time in the last week that Steve Austin's attacked him, and they were supposed to be his protection. So he's changing the plans.
Right.
And we're getting the pay-per-view in October will be main evented by The Undertaker versus Kane.
And Steve Austin is the guest
Steve Austin is guest referee to determine the new champ.
Right.
But then he calls them handicapped themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And Undertaker warns him that next time you say that, you won't be walking out in here. And then Vince McMahon gives him the finger, which Undertaker turns around, and they destroy Vince McMahon.
Yep.
The Stooges come out, they get destroyed.
Yep.
And then they break his ankle with the ring stuffs by just jamming them down on it.
Yeah, and then they cut to the back, and then Vince McMahon's on the stretcher being all pissed off.
Screaming, and Mankind comes in with his big gulp soda and some candies. He even actually sticks something in Vince's pocket.
Oh, does
like,
he? Oh.
like a mint or something ridiculous that he just...
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because he said, like...
That, yeah.
Because obviously that's live. Because right after that. And he was told, like, with 40 seconds, like, prep time, like, hey, come on. We're going to show Vince on the stretcher. You get out there and, like, trying to be stuck up to him. So he, like, grabs stuff as he walks by. So it was...
Was he doing his drink?
It might have been. I mean, he might have just been drinking, go to the Thorntons down the street from the Rosemont Horizon.
What was that, Rosemont?
I mean, from Detroit. From the Joe Louis Arena.
Yeah, and then so that's a good setup.
Yeah, so we know where we're heading for next month with another Undertaker versus Kane match.
Yep, I mean, if the crowd wants it.
Yeah, this is kind of where the crowd has had enough of it.
Gotcha.
We'll get there, though, when we get there.
I'm like, a lot of teasers for October.
Yeah, they are kind of building that one.
Oh, yeah, even for you. I mentioned a couple of times.
Yeah. Well, Chicago. Yeah.
Okay.
The
Rosemont Horizon.
Yep. So for breakdown, though, what would you go for this one?
I keep Unforgiven as 6, Over the Edge 6, Fully Loaded as 6. Ugh. I don't know. I think this one a 5.5.
Oof.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It was just not. I don't think because.
Yeah.
At my notes, I was just like, this was just.
I'm gonna go 6.5 because it's pretty. For me, it's pretty comparable to No Way Out, where they have of Texas, of course. I want to clarify where we're getting out of, where we will not be getting out of.
Where will he stay?
I think like the two top matches are okay-ish, and the undercard is just blah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, I didn't give Unforgiven. Actually, I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go to 6.
Oh, okay.
That ties it with Unforgiven for me for worst.
All right.
And then matches, top 2.
Oh, I mean, it's pretty much just the main event and the 3 of them.
Yeah, and I would definitely say the cage.
Yeah.
Above.
Yeah. Well, that is an easy discussion.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you don't want to plead your case for draws versus Mark Mero.
No, that's there's not really any other ones that are close to that.
Yeah, I would say that's about it. Yep. I mean, you're a fan of D'Lo versus.
I do, but not like.
Not enough to.
That would be a headliner.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, sometimes the best match doesn't have to be a headliner, but that's fine. I agree. Although, really, like I said, Undertaker, Kane, Austin should have been like 10 minutes shorter. I think it would have been a lot better. Because I mean, the story's plain to see. Like, obviously, Steve Austin can't just beat them up. He's gonna either get pinned or have to sneak by. But we didn't need like 3 extra segments of them beating him up. It's established.
Yeah. It felt like it's like the main event they had to draw it out. Did the good people of Hamilton what they paid for?
Another short drive to Detroit the next day. All right. So that's it, though. We're set up for October, where we'll be having a Judgment Day.
Oh, I was going to ask what it was
called.
Yes,
Judgment Day. It's still an In Your House subtitle. Judgment Day.
Of Rosemont.
Yes, so the Judgment Day for the Rosemont Horizon. And yet another, we're already promised another Undertaker Kane match, and this time it'll be the main event. So what could go wrong?
Right, nothing at all.
Although I will say that the next couple weeks, we have to watch some Raws I'll lead up to Judgment Day, because right now we have Vince McMahon with a broken ankle. We have to see where that leads.
Oh, that becomes the storyline.
That becomes the storyline, and arguably launches one wrestler's like most popular act.
Okay.
But we'll get there next month.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued now.
Yes.
Looking forward to October and a better pay-per-view.
Well, I don't know about that. And we'll make the judgment next time.
The judgment on Judgment Day?
Yes.
We'll pass judgment on Judgment Day.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.